Embers of Legacy. The twin moons of Helios cast elongated shadows across Nova Haven's central plaza as Commander Nadia Corvus made her way toward the colony's engineering sector. At 46, her weathered face and silver-streaked black hair reflected 2 decades of service to humanity's largest settlement. 17 generations had passed since their ancestors had fled a dying Earth, or so every child was taught. Tonight would shatter that foundation of belief. The message from Director Gyro Takeda had been cryptic but urgent. The expedition team had returned from the Eastern Highlands with something unprecedented. As head of Nova Haven's science division, Takeda rarely displayed emotion, making his barely contained excitement all the more intriguing. Commander, Takeda nodded as Nadia entered his laboratory. Despite being in his 60s, the director maintained the intense focus that had defined his career. Thank you for coming at this hour. Your message suggested I wouldn't want to wait until morning, Nadia replied, studying the collection of artifacts arranged on the central table. What exactly am I looking at? Instead of answering, Takeda activated a holographic display showing a massive structure embedded in a mountainside. The geological survey team discovered this 3 days ago. It's sealed, sophisticated, and according to our preliminary analysis, approximately 9,000 years old. Nadia frowned. That's impossible. Our ancestors arrived on Helios barely 4 centuries ago. Exactly, Takeda's eyes gleamed. This predates our arrival by millennia, yet it bears unmistakable human design signatures. 3 hours later, Nadia stood at the entrance of the mountain facility, watching as Nova Haven's engineering team worked to bypass the sophisticated locking mechanism. The structure's exterior featured materials and design elements far beyond current colonial technology, sleek geometric patterns etched into a metallic compound that showed no signs of degradation despite thousands of years of exposure. The dating is conclusive, Takeda explained, reviewing data on his tablet. Whatever this is, it was built thousands of years before our generation ships supposedly left Earth. That contradicts everything in our historical archives, Nadia said. According to official records, Earth's final years were spent frantically constructing generation ships with only the most basic survival technologies. Security Chief Darius Reed approached, his tall frame silhouetted against the excavation lights. At 48, Reed had served alongside Nadia for nearly 2 decades, their professional relationship occasionally blurring into something more personal during their younger years. My team has secured the perimeter, he reported. But I'm concerned about the implications of this discovery if our historical records are incorrect about something this fundamental. Then what else might they be wrong about? Nadia finished his thought. A mechanical hiss interrupted their conversation as the facility's entrance finally yielded to the engineer's efforts. Chief Engineer Valeria Ortiz emerged from the access tunnel, her expression a mixture of awe and disbelief. Commander, you need to see this, she said. The interior is pristine and the systems, they're still operational. The initial exploration team consisted of Nadia, Takeda, Reed, and Ortiz, along with Dr. Octavia Rhodes, Nova Haven's foremost expert on pre-colonial technology. As they ventured deeper into the facility, motion sensors activated lighting systems that had lain dormant for millennia. The power systems shouldn't still be functional, Rhodes remarked, scanning the corridor with her equipment. This level of preservation suggests deliberate design for extreme long-term sustainability. The central chamber revealed rows of advanced technology, weapons platforms, propulsion systems, communication arrays, all far beyond Nova Haven's current capabilities. But it was the command center that held the facility's true purpose. As Nadia approached the central console, a scanning beam swept over her before a holographic interface activated, projecting the image of a man in a formal military uniform unlike anything in colonial records. DNA verification confirmed. Human descendant detected. Beginning emergency protocol Alpha. The hologram solidified, revealing a man in his 50s with tired eyes that had witnessed unimaginable tragedy. I am General Marcus Donovan of the Earth Defense Coalition. If you're receiving this message, you are the descendants of those who survived the purge. What you've been told about Earth's destruction is a deliberate fabrication. Stunned silence fell over the team as the recording continued. Earth wasn't destroyed by environmental collapse or cosmic disaster. Our homeworld was systematically eradicated by the Concordat, an alliance of advanced species who feared humanity's potential. Not what we were, but what we might become. The hologram gestured, displaying orbital footage of massive alien vessels positioning themselves around Earth before unleashing devastation that transformed continents into molten slag. Nadia felt her throat constrict as she watched humanity's birthplace burn. The Concordat discovered us just as we were developing our first faster-than-light prototypes. Their ruling council deemed us an evolutionary aberration, advancing too quickly, adapting too readily to be safely integrated into galactic society. Their solution was extinction. General Donovan's hologram continued, but some of us anticipated the attack. We established hidden outposts throughout unexplored space, equipped with the very technologies the Concordat feared we would develop. We scattered the survivors and, God forgive us, altered their memories to protect them from seeking premature vengeance before they were ready. The message concluded with activation codes for other hidden facilities across the Helios system and nearby stars, along with schematics for technology that would put the colonies on equal footing with the civilization that had tried to erase humanity. "We don't demand that you seek retribution," the general said finally. "That choice belongs to your generation, but we ask that you remember Earth and reclaim humanity's right to exist without fear. When you're ready, when you're strong enough, return to the stars with purpose." In the days that followed, Nova Haven experienced profound upheaval as colony leadership debated how widely to share the revelation. Nadia found herself at the center of increasingly heated council sessions. "We can't simply pretend this discovery doesn't change everything," she argued during an emergency meeting in the colony's administrative complex. "Our entire understanding of our origins has been based on carefully constructed misdirection." Counselor Haruki Lin, the oldest member of Nova Haven's governing body, leaned forward. "And what would you have us do, Commander? Declare war on an interstellar power that believed it exterminated us 9,000 years ago? What chance would we have against civilizations capable of destroying Earth?" Director Takeda activated a holographic display showing technical specifications from the vault. A significant one, actually. The technology cache is remarkable, not just weapons, but scientific advancements across every field. General Donovan and his contemporaries spent years developing countermeasures to Concordat technology. With these blueprints, we could achieve technological parity within a decade. "Or we could remain hidden," argued Minister Julian Frost of Agricultural Sciences. "We've built peaceful colonies across 3 star systems. Do we abandon that to pursue ancient vengeance?" "Not vengeance," Nadia corrected, "justice and security. The Concordat eliminated Earth because they feared what humanity might become. If they discover our existence now, what's to stop them from finishing what they started?" The debate continued for weeks, with the colony divided between those who advocated immediate preparation for eventual contact and those who preferred to remain hidden, safe in their anonymity. Meanwhile, exploration teams discovered additional vaults across the Helios system, each containing pieces of humanity's suppressed legacy. During this period, Nadia found herself increasingly drawn to the vault archives, studying Earth's final days through the records left by General Donovan and his contemporaries. Security Chief Reed often joined her, their shared mission gradually rekindling feelings both had long suppressed. "You haven't left this place in 3 days," Reed observed one evening, finding Nadia reviewing tactical simulations in the vault's archive room. "There's too much to learn," she replied without looking up. "Every file I access reveals how extensively our history was rewritten." Reed settled into the chair beside her. "The Council is leaning toward approving Takeda's proposal, limited development of the vault technologies under strict oversight." "Not enough," Nadia said. "Half measures won't protect us when the Concordat eventually expands into this region." "You sound convinced that conflict is inevitable." Nadia finally looked at him. "Donovan and his team sacrificed everything to give us this chance. They altered the memories of their own families, condemned themselves to death defending Earth, all to ensure humanity would eventually reclaim its place among the stars. I won't dishonor that sacrifice." Later that night, while reviewing Donovan's personal logs, Nadia discovered a sealed message addressed to the commander who finds this. Inside was a private journal that transformed her understanding of humanity's fall. "I believe the Concordat feared us because they recognized something in humanity that they've lost," Donovan had written. "Their civilizations have remained virtually static for millennia, bound by tradition and hierarchy. They didn't destroy Earth out of malice, but out of existential terror. They couldn't comprehend a species that embraces change as its natural state. The message continued, "Your mission isn't vengeance. It's justice and ultimately coexistence. Humanity deserves its place among the stars not through conquest but through the very qualities that frighten them, our innovation, our resilience, our capacity to become more than we are." 5 months later, construction began on Nova Haven's first advanced vessel using the Vault's designs. Nadia stood in the massive underground hangar, watching as the sleek ship, christened the Ascendant, took shape. Unlike the bulky transport vessels the colony relied on for local system travel, the Ascendant featured lines that seemed to defy conventional physics, incorporating technologies that had existed only in theoretical models. "We're implementing the stealth systems today," Valeria Ortiz explained as they inspected the progress. According to the Vault data, the Concordat never developed countermeasures for this technology. They never needed to, no one could hide from them. Until now. As the Ascendant neared completion, additional vaults were discovered on 2 neighboring colony worlds, each containing complementary pieces of humanity's technological legacy. What emerged was a comprehensive picture of General Donovan's master plan, a carefully orchestrated rebirth of human civilization, positioned to eventually reclaim its place in a galaxy that had tried to consign it to extinction. When the Council finally voted on the mission parameters for humanity's return to Concordat space, Nadia was the unanimous choice to command the expedition. The night before departure, she stood alone in the Vault's memorial chamber, studying holographic images of Earth's final days. Director Takeda found her there holding a small metal container. "Earth soil," he explained, "preserved in the Vault for 9,000 years. General Donovan left instructions that it should be carried by the first humans to return." Nadia accepted the container reverently. "Not for revenge," she said softly. "But for remembrance," Takeda finished, echoing the phrase that had become Nova Haven's unofficial motto. The following morning, Nova Haven's population gathered to witness the Ascendant's departure. As the advanced vessel rose silently from its underground hangar, its revolutionary drive system leaving no energy signature for distant sensors to detect, Nadia addressed her crew from the command deck. "For 17 generations, we believed we were refugees from a natural disaster, struggling to preserve what little remained of Earth's legacy," she began, facing men and women who had trained relentlessly for this mission. "Today we know the truth. We are survivors of an attempted genocide, heirs to a civilization that refused to be erased from history." Beside her stood Security Chief Reed, now her second-in-command, and Dr. Rhodes, whose expertise would be crucial for interpreting Concordat technology. The bridge crew represented Nova Haven's finest, all volunteers, all aware that they might never return. "We go now not seeking war but recognition," Nadia continued. "We carry with us not just the memory of Earth but its promise." As they prepared for the jump to faster-than-light travel, Nadia opened a final communication channel to Nova Haven. "We will return," she promised, her voice carrying to the thousands gathered below. "One way or another, and the galaxy will remember that humanity endures." The stars blurred as the Ascendant leaped into the void, carrying humanity's legacy back to the stars that had once witnessed their destruction. After 9,000 years of silence, the children of Earth were coming home. The reckoning had begun. The reckoning dawns. For 7 months, the Ascendant moved like a ghost through Concordat space, its revolutionary stealth technology rendering it invisible to monitoring systems that had never been designed to detect human vessels. Commander Nadia Corvus stood on the observation deck, watching an alien world rotate beneath them, a bustling trading hub at the edge of what had once been called the Perseus Arm. "They've built wonders," murmured Dr. Octavia Rhodes, joining her at the viewport. Since their departure from Nova Haven, the xenoanthropologist had been cataloging every aspect of Concordat civilization they encountered. But their technological advancement has plateaued, just as General Donovan predicted. Security Chief Darius Reed approached with a data tablet. "The intelligence team has completed their analysis of Concordat communications. You were right, Commander. They're not a monolithic empire but a complex federation of species bound by ancient treaties and traditions." Nadia nodded, her gaze still fixed on the alien cityscape below. "Show me." The command center's holographic display activated, revealing a comprehensive map of Concordat political structures that the intelligence team had assembled over months of passive observation. More than 300 species comprised the galactic power, arranged in a complex hierarchy based on technological development and date of admission. The founding seven, Reed indicated the inner circle of the display. The Eldar, the Vosh Collective, the Turlith Dominion, the Ket Imperium, the Amorian Synod, the Vex Hierarchy, and the Zithian Assembly. These are the species that ordered Earth's destruction. Their technology has barely advanced since Earth fell, reported Chief Engineer Valeria Ortiz. The Vault intel was correct. They've stagnated, focused on stability rather than innovation. Lieutenant Ezra Novik, the Ascendant's tactical officer, studied the defensive deployments highlighted across the map. They've faced no significant challenges in millennia. No wars, no resource shortages, no existential threats. They've forgotten how to adapt. Which makes us even more dangerous in their eyes, Nadia concluded. We need to make first contact carefully, somewhere significant enough to send a message, but not so central that we'll be immediately overwhelmed. They chose Outpost Meridian, a monitoring station in the Vega sector governed by a mid-level Concordat administrator. The facility was lightly defended but connected to the Concordat's primary communication network, perfect for announcing humanity's return to a galaxy that thought them extinct. All systems ready, Commander, Reed reported as they approached the outpost. Stealth disengagement on your command. Nadia took a deep breath, feeling the weight of 9,000 years of history. Disengage stealth systems, let's introduce ourselves. The Ascendant materialized less than a kilometer from the station, appearing seemingly from nowhere on Concordat scanners. As predicted, the station immediately initiated lockdown protocols and issued distress signals across multiple channels. They're scrambling to understand what we are, Rhodes said, monitoring communications. Their systems don't recognize our ship design. Open a channel, Nadia ordered. The main view screen flickered to life, revealing a tall, serpentine being with iridescent scales and vertical pupils. The station administrator's dorsal crest flared in alarm as it regarded the human crew. This is Administrator Vexel of Concordat Outpost Meridian, it said in the standard Galactic trade language, which the Ascendant systems translated effortlessly. Identify yourselves immediately. Nadia stepped forward. I am Commander Nadia Corvus of the human vessel Ascendant. We come as representatives of Nova Haven Colony and the surviving branches of humanity. All color drained from the administrator's scales. Impossible, it whispered. The human species was eradicated in the purification of Sector 3998 over 9 millennia ago. Not entirely, Nadia replied calmly. And we've come seeking a dialogue with the Grand Assembly of the Concordat regarding that particular historical event. Within hours, news of humanity's survival had spread throughout Concordat space. The Ascendant maintained position near Outpost Meridian as a procession of increasingly senior officials made contact, each more agitated than the last. Nadia refused to speak with anyone below the rank of sector governor, a calculated insult that forced the Concordat hierarchy to acknowledge humanity's significance. 4 days later, Governor Zelter of the Vega sector arrived aboard a heavily armed diplomatic vessel. A member of the Turlith Dominion, one of the founding 7 species, Zelter resembled a massive cephalopod encased in an ornate mechanical exoskeleton adorned with ceremonial markings. The Grand Assembly has granted me authority to speak on behalf of the Concordat, the governor announced during their first face-to-face meeting aboard a neutral station. I must confess, Commander Corvus, your appearance has caused considerable distress among the founding councils. 9,000 years is a long time to believe a problem solved, only to have it reappear. Problem is an interesting choice of words for attempted genocide, Nadia replied, intentionally highlighting the Concordat's perspective on humanity. Zelter's tentacles shifted in what Rhodes had identified as discomfort. That action taken against your ancestral homeworld was before many current member species even joined the Concordat. We know it only as historical record. And yet the architects of that genocide still hold power within your assembly, Nadia said. The Eldar, the Vosh Collective, the Turlith Dominion all remain influential voices in Concordat policy. What exactly do you want, Commander? Zelter asked directly. Revenge? War? The Concordat controls thousands of worlds across 3 spiral arms. Even with your impressive technological advancements, you cannot hope to challenge our civilization. Nadia activated a small projector displaying images of Nova Haven and its sister settlements. We want recognition, acknowledgement of the crime committed against Earth, reparations for what was taken from us, and guarantees that the Concordat will never again attempt to exterminate our species. The Assembly will never admit culpability for actions taken by its predecessors, the governor insisted. It would create a dangerous precedent.